Hello and welcome to my video journal for a leader's framework for decision making and the interview with Gardner. I'm currently at my new favorite place to do homework, the beach. I come from Colorado, so this is a rare but beautiful pleasure. Anyway, getting into it. After I read the leader's framework for decision making, I came away with a greater sense for the need for complex thinking in leadership, for the ability to see across multi-dimensions and to realize that one particular leadership style isn't going to get it done for every scenario. You know, there's different contexts that we're going to need to apply leadership principles, and I think the authors did a great job of pointing that out. The simple context, it seems to me that this idea has been entrenched in our minds over and over again, that there's predictability in the world, that we can sort of isolate certain parts of life or business or whatever you need and address the problems within that isolation. It's coming to my attention more and more that there's no such simplistic nature anywhere. I mean, everything is interrelated, connected with other parts of reality. So we have to be able to think in more complex modes. And I think the leadership framework gives us the ability to move within the different contexts and be able to identify which context is present as leaders and how we need to go about changing that. Some of the key features I thought were important, especially this Kunevin. I think it's important because it allows us to, again, see the complexity of the model, to move beyond simplicity, and how important it is to consider multiple factors, including disorder, being comfortable with disorder. When they talk about the skills that the complex leader needs or the complex scenario requires, I thought it was very important when they talked about bringing in other people's opinions and really considering sort of the time frame for things, being able to be patient and wait for patterns to emerge, to attempt to isolate certain parts so that you can get a better grasp on things. I think it's very important to consider in any context, but especially when we start to look at how leadership is going to be handled. And for me, I think leadership is more of a shared venture. You know, it's looking at different parties involved, bringing everybody together to make a decision. Instead of just one leader being the person that kind of imposes their ideas on the group. Gardner in this sense is really important to bring in, and especially the theme that he talks about, teamwork. Teamwork for me is what is going to be necessary in the new leadership. It's going to have members of your team that have different skills and qualities, abilities, traits, and be able to have and utilize each of those unique perspectives to organize the thought, organize the effort. So I'm assuming most people are familiar with his multiple intelligence. I know it was introduced at the intensive, but that context, to understand that we all see a scenario differently, we all problem solve differently, we consider it and organize it in our minds in a different way, and so that is crucial and vital to being a successful leader, is to be able to utilize each of these individuated parts or individual types of thinking into an overall result or goal. And so I guess that's really the most important thing. Another element that I thought was vital was storytelling, how you create a vision as a leader. Key to that, I think, is the ability to to make mistakes and to be okay with making those, finding that a team maybe isn't going to mesh right away, being able to place things and move in places, but to not constantly hold yourself to a specific standard of always needing to be successful, or a false representation of what success is. Success in this case is being able to, like we said, wait, see patterns emerge, and then from there utilize and put into play the appropriate pieces. So I really enjoyed these readings. I thought they contributed a lot to adding complexity to the way I look at things, especially because in our society we've been inundated with this idea of simplicity. And if we're going to break that pattern, if we're going to break that way of thinking, we have to start considering more and more complex models, start really figuring out how we can find a place for them. So thank you to the authors of these. And finally, I want to give you a view of what I'm looking at. The sun setting. All right. Well, I hope you got a view of that. Hope you're doing well. Talk to you soon.